From the EPR Creations Studio, welcome to the X's and O's breakdown from this week's Alabama State, Florida State game. We're going to blaze through this because, quite frankly, there's not a whole lot of value here, but we will get to the fourth quarter pretty quickly. I'm going to break down a couple things early and address some of what we see. This is kind of ugly to start out like that. You don't want to see the Red Sea part here. This is really, really poor in terms of lane discipline. Right here, running around from those two guys in the middle. And this is fine because you're supposed. This is an intentional twist here. That right there is intentional. You're supposed to have a little bit of a twist on, and that's going to get a little bit more space for how this is designed. So you're going to get him moving off of here, and the design is to get a free runner here. But what you're not supposed to get is, and this is fine for him here, he's still in his lane, but you don't want to see this peeling off here. That right there opens up a big lane because he gets out of his lane. That's Josh Brown, and he's clearly out of his lane here. Don't run around. I think he's reading wrongly here, but he's got to stay in this lane no matter what. And the other thing is here, you shouldn't have, this is wrong shoulder as well, so he's got to stay a little tighter. And you see him run around that block that direction. That puts you behind the returner too quickly. He needs, if anything, to pop that here, or maybe even keep his leverage instead of running around that, running underneath that. Who is that, Brooks? Yeah, that's Brooks. You can't do that. So overall, not good enough. And you can see Bolden is in the safety role here. He's going half speed here and peeling back toward the middle. And he should be coming back into here. And then he's the run him down from behind guy. One of the fastest guys on the team, and it makes sense to have him in that role. But this is just poor. Now, you'll notice here, 4 down. This is last year's defense. 4 down, cover 4, press cover 4. This is last year's defense. And I went back and I took a look at Miami. I'm gonna release that video same day as this one, and went back and look at this. This is last year's this is Michigan State's defense right here. This is what Harlan Barnett would prefer to run, but it's not what Willie Taggart had them running. And this is a whole different world. And the problem is that when you make a switch, so they made the switch in the fall, and now they're making a switch back, and each time you make that switch, you're diminishing what you're able to do schematically because you have to get the guys better equipped to run what you're asking them to run. So adjustments or anything schematic that you might want to do, you can't really do. So here, this is not bad. You've got a double A blitz on here. You got the 2 backers coming up the middle, but they do a good job getting that out. That's a blitz they ran a lot last year. This is just last year's team, last year's defense. And this is just not good enough from Stanford Samuels here against the back shoulder. He's got to play through that with a little bit more on that backside arm. Not bad here. Hamza, when you need a tackle, who do you call? That guy. I don't know why they kicked here. They should have gone for it, but I guess they didn't want to get shut out. So I'm going to go ahead and start off. And James Blackman seems to have recovered his deep ball once Taggart was dismissed. I don't know what. I mean, that's got to be coincidental, but still. He's had a couple of these, and that made it look easy. It's a really nice ball right there. Put your mouthpiece in, son. So once again, that's last year's defense. Briggs with the sack here, and this is just really easy because he's going up against a bad offensive line, and, well, okay. Just bring in 5. A little twist on, and Gainer would have gotten there if Briggs hadn't. I actually don't know if this condensed game has the play I want to see here. Oh, it doesn't. So the first down play on this drive was a play where Blackman had DJ Matthews basically schemed up one-on-one against the safety. Matthews was a stride and a half ahead of him on the break. If Blackman leads him across the field at all and just lets it go, it's an easy walk-in touchdown again. It would have been 2 plays, 2 touchdowns. Blackman double clutched, decided he wasn't sure, and then let it go and wound up getting thrown it behind and, kept that from being a touchdown. Another example of kind of what's happened all year. So you just got mesh here. Nice play by Gavin. Just a little dagger concept here. Clear out from the inside guy, outside guy on a dig. And Blackman deciding to show what an athlete he is, because this is what he's done ever since he arrived, right? What in the world? If Winston was an ostrich, this guy's basically like watching a giraffe run. It's a baby giraffe on the move. All arms and legs. And LeBourne, not bad. We're going to move on pretty quickly here. LeBourne in for a touchdown. That just is really easy. This is a bad football team. We're going to move into the second half here. I want to get to, let's see. Oh yeah, this was the bust. This was the bust for a touchdown. We should look at this. So you see this is on a blitz. We got the one before. Gets down the sideline. Not bad there. So the way that this works, this has got to be a peel off. When he sees, so you've got a couple guys coming from the edge here. He's got to peel when he sees him go. That's got to be Brooks getting out there. That wasn't the touchdown. The touchdown's a little later, but that's against the corner blitz. Not bad there. So again, same thing. You see the corner blitz. Good call by the receiver. Just becomes a little smoke screen or a little now. If he's not held up at just a little bit there, that's a house call because that guy can fly. And this is a good play by Harrison. So we'll stop here for a second, but really want to get to the second half here. Nice little burst, nice strength, good effort. This should have been a pick, by the way. Talking to somebody who saw the all-22 here. This is just a late break by the safety. He was just a little bit hesitant in coming over the top there, and he knew it. But there's been a lot of near breaks. Yeah, so here you go. Late on the break, you got to get there a little earlier. You see the hesitation right there. Don't wait on it. You got to run through it right now. Get over there and go up and get it. Trying to go against that quarters, get over top of the safety. Put that ball away. All right, let's move later in the game. Not much we want to cover here. Oh yeah, this is the pick. So you've got a dig route here, and Blackman is staring this down the whole way, staring at the dig, and then throws the dig, and the safety does a good job of recognizing the concept. He sees this little pivot here. He's reading through and recognizes what he's going to be seeing, so he jumps the dig. That's a bad decision by Blackman. Now he knows he's got the bracket here, so he can't go to those. There's not a whole lot open, but you can't throw that ball in the location that he did on the timing that he did. If anything, you're going to want to throw this on the back hip of the receiver to keep it away from the safety here, because the safety's jumping ahead and he's got inside position. If anything, you want to throw that kind of low and on the back hip. Now this is a bad effort from Matthews. You want him to get his hands in front and fight for that ball, but not a good play by Blackman there. Yeah, here you go. This is a better look. So you see right here, if you're going to make this throw where the safety is, you got to get your eye on the safety. If you're going to make that throw, you can't throw that across the field. You have to throw. When you see this and you see him staring that down, the safety's aware that when you're making this throw, if you're going to make it, you need to throw it almost like a curl, throw it on his back hip. And that's just not a good effort from Matthews. That's not good enough. But again, he recognizes the bracketing going on here. They do a good job of matching, bracketing here and then matching up here. It's not a whole lot of places for him to go. But if you do put this low and on the hip here, you got a chance. But this is just, he throws automatically, and that makes that easy. So now we get the touchdown. So you get another blitz, and you get a wide open receiver because of the bust. And interestingly, the guy who is pointing at the other players, who's wondering what's going on, is actually the guy responsible here. Let's see if they give us a overhead view here. They don't. All right. So the way that this works, they're coming off the edge here. You got two tight split, reduced split players here. And this is an in-out concept. So the way that this is supposed to work is you got two players here, and the part of the problem is that they're not lined up exactly right. But the way that this is supposed to work is he's got the first out. So of these guys, whichever one goes out, he takes. Anyone who has an inside release, he takes. So his eyes are on the quarterback rather than on his assignment. And he's trying to now locate where he's supposed to go. But as soon as this guy comes inside, he should know he's got the outside guy. He seems to think he's got the inside guy. He's in the wrong defense or something. And ultimately, he's looking back at Hamza, and he's waving his hand, but that's actually not Hamza's fault. That's Becker's fault. I know that for a fact. I got word on that. Baby giraffe on the run. All right. And it's amazing what happens when you pull on the read once in a while, when they collapse down like that. Force teams to actually have to honor it. All right. So now there's really nothing left until we get to the point where backups are playing. All right, I want to get further in. We get the little interception here. Shouldn't have been flush from the pocket there a little bit, but he stumbles a little bit on the throw. And Hamza's a pretty good athlete. He was trying to throw that as far as he could throw it. That's where you slid, and then, well, that just makes it really easy. Like I said, Hamza's a good athlete. So now, are we into the backups? No, we are not really into the backups. These are the regular players. Nice job by True Thompson there, though. Worth calling out. Good play. Just a nice power rush here. Does a good job of staying in his lane and then finding the quarterback. It's good power. Says all you need to know when I wasn't sure if that was a corner or if that was Brooks at linebacker on the missed tackle there. Never really had the ball after he caught it. He's trying the whole way to get control of it and never had it. So one of the things that kind of ticks me off here is it's beginning of the fourth quarter. This is big time garbage time. And what are you doing with some of the defensive linemen that wind up on the field from this time forward? I'd have only young guys in there. It doesn't really do you a whole lot of good to have Adonis Thomas, for example, in there at this stage. But that's who they got in there. You need the young guys on the field completely. But now we're getting to the second string line. So this is where things start to get interesting. So you're seeing not bad from Jawan Williams here. Again, he's going against inferior competition, but at least he's moving all right. And then you get Jordan once again. Jordan Travis, and what was the reason he wasn't playing earlier this year again? And again, I know they're bad, but geez. This at least gives you some hope that there might be a little bit of running game against Florida if it comes down to that. And again, it's as simple as watch his shoulders, coming inside, and then make a guy miss. This guy's not responsible for the quarterback, and whoop. A little extra quickness at quarterback makes a huge difference, and he's a fast guy. So full second string except for the right tackle here. I don't know why at this point you have Ryan Robertson at right tackle. There's nothing good about having Ryan Robertson at right tackle here. You've got to get other guys some reps at this stage. And yes, I know they're not good, but so here we've got backup defensive lineman. This is Malcolm Lamar. Notice he just doesn't have the kind of burst and power that you ideally want at this position. He's got the length, but tell me if that does not look more like an offensive lineman trying to battle through there than it does a defensive lineman. Once again, Lamar here. And you can see why he's not playing a bunch. I mean, he gets doubled here, but you've got to be able to find the ball a little bit. And, again, the ability to take on that double team and not give ground and not get turned, that's what you're looking for there. It's just too stiff and not quite bendy enough and powerful enough in the lower half to play that position. But again, great body for left tackle. There's your left tackle next year if the next staff is able to get him to actually listen. Once again, Malcolm Lamar here. Focus on that. You just don't see, again, the tools at this position for the long term that you want. Now, you also have 30 here. This is Quayshawn Fuller. This is the youngster on that play, and I think he's in on this one as well. Yeah, this is Quayshawn Fuller. Can't remember if he's on the field on the first play. No, that's Josh Brown there. So, yeah, after this play, it's Quayshawn Fuller. So, Quayshawn Fuller here. And you can see a little bit of a burst and some bend with him. That's encouraging. So, again, not an elite player, but there's a chance that he actually could become a contributor. Again, you can see decent bend. Like to see a little bit more bend in terms of being able to dip the shoulder here and create some pressure. Same thing here on the edge from Briggs. Just not a whole lot of pass rush moves, and whoever comes in with the next guy is going to need to bring a really good defensive ends coach, because they need to learn how to use their hands, but they're not in a good position to do that. And I want to know why Stanford Samuels is on the field here. I mean, I appreciate the quality pick and the run back and all that, being in the proper spot, but what's the reason that he's on the field right now? And this is just quarters, I believe. Let me double check. No, they're rotating to 3 here. So he's in a cover 3 zone. That shouldn't have even. Wow, that's a bad play by the offense, but he does his job. Safety should be in the middle here. That's somebody's got a bust there. Let's see if we can see some blocks maybe from a future offensive lineman here. And there he is. No, not even a block here. He must be worried that he's going to get moved. So once again, you've got Fuller on that edge. Not terrible. Way late off the ball, but the overall looks like he might be a decent contributor, but they're really going to need to recruit some talent up front. They don't have this is not Florida State level defensive line talent. And that, once again, is Lamar coming off high. And again, it's so hard to play this position at his height. But, you can see him. He just doesn't have the burst. I mean, he's getting one-on-one blocked here. And there's no penetration, no nothing. He's not a Florida State defensive lineman. And I appreciate the hustle. I appreciate wanting to play defensive line. But that's an offensive lineman. And then here you have 95. I'm trying to remember who that is. Got to take a look at my roster here in a second. So you got backups once again. This time, let's see. This time you have Evan, or you have not Evan. They wish it was Evan. This is Neal here on the edge at tackle. Not horrible. It's a bit of a hold. Needs to move his feet a little better. Would have liked to have seen him before the 2-minute mark, but Neal again at tackle gives us an idea of what he's at. Oh no, that's actually not Neal. This is we're only getting one play of being able to see Neal there. This is Goss at left tackle, and that's the Williams kid, the JUCO, at right tackle there. You see the double here by Williams, and I think that's Meadows or Armstrong. Can't remember. I never keep the Christian straight. Once again, 95 here. What I like about 95 is that he's got a little bit of pop to him in terms of some of the hip bend. He's just not strong enough. Once again, that's Malcolm Lamar in the middle. It's 93. That's Chapman. That's who that is at 95. That's 95. And then 93, I got to remember who he is. Not a whole lot there, but really not a whole lot to gather from this tape beyond just looking at what they've got in terms of some of the guys up front. I don't remember who 93 is, but I do like his bend here. A little bit more pop to him than some of the other guys up front. Needs to do a little bit better job of not getting washed there on the double, but overall not bad. And Fuller needs to come tighter here. His job is to spill this. He's got to come in hard. And that shouldn't be able to hit at all. If you take out that H-back now and spill that, then the backer can come up and make a play. And again, why is Brooks on the field with 21 seconds left? I just don't understand what the value is when you're not getting some of your young guys those reps. It's frustrating. But Odell is for Odell. That's Florida State. So we'll spend some more time in the offseason breaking down some of the plays that we actually did get to see from some of these guys, and hopefully we can get maybe a little bit more film on some of it. But one of the things that is not encouraging is when Durden and Wilson and some of those guys move on up front, they don't have a defensive end that's anywhere near as talented as Janarius Robinson. And they don't have a defensive tackle anywhere near as talented as Marvin Wilson or as Corey Durden. They just don't have those guys on the roster. And when those guys are gone, they're going to have to find some. And right now, that's a problem because they've not been able to recruit any of those guys, and you can't win without those guys. You can't win big without those guys, certainly. And they're not going to be competitive. They're not going to be Florida State until you start getting those kinds of defensive linemen on campus, and they don't have any of them right now. Not behind those guys. The guys that they have, they got a lot of just a dude, just a guy among a lot of those defensive linemen that are backups from what we could see at the end of this, and that's not really that encouraging, and that's not going to make things easy for the next coach because you got to have defensive linemen to win in this league. And in this game, and Clemson's about to have the best haul of defensive linemen anybody's gotten in a long time. So it's not going to be good because Florida State's recruited defensive linemen better than Clemson for quite a while, and that's all about to change starting with the 2020 class. So Florida State's going to have to do some catching up quick. So we'll go ahead and sign off here. I'm going to also release the Miami game, the last ride of Willie Taggart, shortly after this one gets posted. So